Welcome to Eastern Water Skinks at home. Today's theme, enrichment in action. There's a lot of talk lately in the wildlife realms, the zoos, and where they've got wild animals in captivity, and no matter how big or how small they are, whether they're reptiles or mammals or birds, they call it giving them enrichment. So things that they would able to access or be familiar with in the wild that would keep them mentally stimulated. And I think that's what I like to see in a bit of these guys with these Eastern Water Skinks. You're looking at my female there, I think she's a female, Diva. Of course, they've each got their own distinct personality. With her, I've noticed that every time I've cleaned her cage, which I just have, she gets excited. She starts walking around and tasting the newly cleaned environment. What I particularly like to add, not just for aesthetic looks, so it looks good, but I think it's also important for enrichment as well that they have some things put in there. What I usually do before I put her back into her cleaned cage is I go for a 10-minute walk, and I'll snip off a bit of eucalypt from a tree, a bit of she oak there. There's a bit of she oak on the left-hand side there, and they can smell that in the air. You can see her tongue flicking around, and yeah, I think it adds a lot to the enrichment, the fresh clippings of flora. This was filmed over a 1 hour period, and you'll notice the little bit of editing that goes on there. So I've got about 20 minutes of her actual actions. Now she's basking in a body surfing position. Making the most of the warmth from the surface. So she'll do that for a minute, then go for another walk, then go back again, have another warm up. I usually put everything back in the same place where it was before. She's got two little hideaways, one on the left hand side and one on the right, next to the water there. There she goes inside. And back out again. I've heard it said before, these guys, Eastern Water Skinks, they're a very much underestimated skink. One of those skinks that you get a lot of satisfaction out of just observing and watching. They're not the type of skink to, probably for children or anyone who wants to handle them all the time. If they ever see an opportunity to go their own way and escape, they'll do it. They're very fast lizards. But at the same time, she's having a drink. But at the same time, they do get used to human. They do get used to your presence. I'll often sit next to this cage, while I'm at the study desk. It's where it's got it sitting at the moment. I'll be sitting at my study desk and, she'll just come out and just watch me. Just come up to the glass and just check out what I'm doing. Like a real sticky beak. I'll even move around at my desk or my room, study there. She'll just, it hurts the mouth moving there. Don't know if that was a bit of a bark. Certainly didn't look like a yawn. So they get used to your presence, but at the same time, if I was to walk into the room very quickly, she'll bolt like lightning, gone, very fast. The wild instinct taking over. Yeah, as I said a minute ago, they're really an underestimated skink. I don't know why they should be more popular, but there doesn't seem to be a real lot of them in captivity in New South Wales for some reason. Maybe it's because, there's not much money to be made on them. On the reptile sales market. I got her and her other siblings for $25 each, and they were only babies. That was 12 months ago. So she's 12 months old and pretty close to adult size. Maybe a little bit more growing to do, but it wouldn't be that much. These guys are known to grow, 28 to 30 centimetres from snout to tail. Yeah, so they're not a popular skink for the sales classifieds in New South Wales. I actually purchased these guys. I had to get them in from Adelaide. From Adelaide into New South Wales, regional New South Wales. And purchased them from a reptile shop just north of Adelaide. $25 each as our babies 12 months ago. Cost me an arm and a leg to get them in, transport them, courier. They had to fly them. Well, the courier had to pick them up from where he was in Adelaide. He had to go out to the shop, pick them up. Then he had them overnight for the next flight, the next morning. So they flew out from Adelaide in the morning to Sydney, landed in Sydney, and then they had to get a transfer flight from Sydney to Tamworth, New South Wales, where I picked them up. That was 12 months ago. Of course, you got to get your import-export permit organised for that. Yeah, so for 20 minutes out of the 1 hour of filming, that's a lot of moving around, and I think I've got most of it here. No, she was thinking of going in there, but she changed her mind. Now she's on the back wall there on the right hand side. I made that back wall out of some material I purchased from Bunnings. It's like a foam board. It's sort of a bluish green colour. Very lightweight. I think it's about, you get I don't know, 18 inch by 3 foot of it or something. It's quite a sheet. I think it's about $20 a sheet. Very lightweight, easy to cut. Some people would use a one of those hot wire cutters, but I find just a hacksaw blade on its own in your hand, very easy to cut, shape. And yeah, so I made it out of that. Any little offcuts I glued on to create that little rock wall climb at the back, all those little different sections. And she loves it. She picks different ones to lie on and climb on. And then once I've got the shape I've wanted and want how it to look, I'll then paint on the grout mixture. Grout paste. Just paint that on. And then put a bit of epoxy resin over it just to protect it from any moisture. And I've siliconed that all in place, that back wall. There's no gaps. It's all completely sealed around with silicone, so there's no gaps for them to, accidentally get caught up in. And that could be a cause of having them perish, so you don't want to allow any risks for that. She's starting to move a bit quicker now, I'd say, because she's heating up. Another little basking. Yep, off we go again. Enjoying the warmth there. I'm hoping to, in the near future, to borrow a male from someone. Male that's not related to, of course. That's a good pose. And yeah, it'd be nice to see her have babies, so I'll know for sure then whether or not she's a female or not, won't I? Definitely enjoying the new clean environments. But you'll see that in the animal kingdom, eh? Not just lizards or reptiles, you'll see it in dogs and cats and horses and that. When they're in a new fresh environment, they'll run and jump and they'll have a good scratch in the gravel in the ground, or just feel good about life. That's a 40 watt reflector globe I've got there on the left hand side at the moment. The temperatures have been a little bit on the low side lately, around 23 degrees Celsius. When the weather it can get much hotter than that in this area. Get up to 35, 38 degrees Celsius, where I'll even lower the volt, put a 25 watt globe in, or just not have one in at all when it gets too hot. Anyway, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. And enjoy the rest of what you see. Cheers.